Boeing, one of the world's legendary aerospace companies, had grand plans for its new spacecraft even before securing the NASA contract in 2014. If space truly opened up, as many predicted at that time, Boeing aimed to assert itself as a leading spacecraft provider, akin to their success in the commercial aircraft sector. Nearly a decade later, those dreams have crumbled. Not a single person has flown Boeing's spacecraft to space. No one's booked a private flight. The company had shouldered billions of dollars in cost overruns, prompting NASA's safety advisors to call for an independent assessment of the program. Meanwhile, SpaceX, the company that secured a contract around the same time as Boeing but with nearly 40% less funding, has completed 8 missions to the ISS for NASA, including private astronaut launches. What went wrong? How could a giant in the aerospace industry fail so miserably in the race against SpaceX? What did they do to stay on the ground when its competitors have been launching astronauts to the space station since 2020? Stay tuned as we dive into this episode of Alpha Tech. In the aftermath of the Space Shuttle's retirement in 2011, NASA sought to forge new pathways by introducing the Commercial Crew Program. This visionary initiative aimed to foster collaboration with American private companies to develop spacecraft capable of ferrying astronauts to and from the ISS. Meanwhile, Boeing has a history of working with NASA on its major space programs, and has also played a significant role in the aerospace industry for around 100 years. Boeing uses conventional methods that align with the expectations of NASA. Hence, NASA trusted Boeing for the next human flight. The officials at NASA thought that there shouldn't be any discussion, and the contract should be given to Boeing. SpaceX wasn't even considered a possible fit for designing and manufacturing rockets for the space exploration program. In 2014, Boeing secured a significant contract worth $4.2 billion to lead the development of the CST-100 Starliner spacecraft. The objectives outlined in this lucrative contract were clear: to deliver on the promise of a crew-capable spacecraft, marking a new era in NASA's pursuit of efficient, cost-effective, and innovative solutions for human spaceflight. As a key participant in the Commercial Crew Program, Boeing Starliner embarked on a journey that aimed to reduce dependency on Russian Soyuz rockets and elevate the U.S.'s role in space exploration. However, the path to achieving these goals has been riddled with challenges, delays, and technical hurdles, raising questions about the ultimate success and viability of the Starliner project. To be honest, Boeing's Starliner development trajectory has encountered challenges right from its initial steps. Initially, the aerospace giant set its sights on conducting the first test flight of the CS-100 Starliner in 2016, envisioning a pivotal moment in the realization of NASA's Commercial Crew Program. However, this timeline was quickly derailed by an array of technical issues that surfaced during the spacecraft's development phase. These technical hurdles resulted in a cascade of delays, forcing an 8-month postponement in the initial test flight. Among the primary challenges faced by Boeing was the spacecraft's weight, prompting the need for a comprehensive effort to reduce mass and address aerodynamic drag issues. As a consequence, the anticipated launch date was pushed to 2017, only to face further setbacks. The subsequent years saw a litany of complications during test flights, each presenting unique obstacles to the Starliner's progress. The culmination is the Starliner's first test flight in December 2019, with high hopes to demonstrate Boeing's ability to cater to a human flight in summer 2020. However, the Starliner failed to stay in the correct orbit and landed back after 2 days in New Mexico's White Sands Missile Range. After 15 minutes of flight, the spacecraft's clock went 11 hours off, making the spacecraft believe it was in a different part of the mission. The backup command would have been able to maneuver the spacecraft, but there was a communication error as the Starliner was between NASA's tracking and data relay satellite system satellites. A few things went wrong, but in defense, Boeing officials said that a lot of things did go right and claimed that these are the reasons why we carry out test flights. Over the next year, Boeing set out to fix its software, poring over all 1 million lines of code. A year and a half later, by the summer of 2021, it said it was ready to redo the test flight to the space station without astronauts on board. By then, SpaceX had already flown 3 astronaut missions to the station. Boeing was eager to catch up, but Starliner couldn't get off the launch pad. This time, the culprit was not software, but several stuck valves in the capsule service module. Another problem, another month-long delay. In May 2022, Boeing finally did successfully fly Starliner to the space station. It was able to dock, then return home a few days later, though still without astronauts. Earlier this year, Boeing said it was finally ready to attempt to launch the Crewed Test Flight (CTF) with two NASA astronauts on board. However, in June, the company announced it had discovered more problems, this time with the parachutes and the flammable tape. It would have to stand down again. Safety concerns arose when it was revealed that the soft links used on the suspension line of the Starliner's three main parachutes were unable to withstand the load if one of them were to fail. Meeting NASA's safety requirements demanded a robust solution, leading Boeing engineers to embark on a redesign of the parachute system and the creation of a more resilient soft link. This endeavor, while essential for crew safety, further elongated the timeline for Starliner's anticipated crewed flight. As if grappling with parachute intricacies wasn't enough, a more alarming revelation added another layer of complexity to the project. The discovery of flammable wiring in the capsule raised serious concerns about the spacecraft's safety, particularly with the crew on board. The P213 glass fabric tape covering the electrical wires was found to pose a fire hazard under specific conditions. Boeing is now engaged in addressing this latest challenge to ensure the utmost safety standards are met before any crew missions are greenlit. They plan to be ready to use the spacecraft by early March next year, and that's just a tentative date that hasn't been set yet. While Boeing's Starliner grapples with a series of challenges and delays, its competitor and NASA's commercial crew program, SpaceX, has been charting a trajectory of remarkable success in the realm of human spaceflight. SpaceX has been delivering cargo missions in space since 2012 and was well experienced in the field by the time NASA decided to send humans to the ISS for further experiments and exploration. Recognizing this potential, NASA began to focus on SpaceX. When one provider has a newer approach than the other, it's natural for human beings to focus more on that one, Steve Stitch, manager of NASA's Commercial Crew Program, said. Until now, SpaceX's Crew Dragon spacecraft, designed with a focus on innovation and efficiency, has completed 8 crew transport missions to the ISS. In addition to the string of successful missions, SpaceX has demonstrated a distinct edge over Boeing in terms of cost-effectiveness. The price per astronaut seat on SpaceX's Crew Dragon is substantially lower than that of Boeing's Starliner. According to NASA documents, SpaceX charges $55 million per astronaut, whereas with Boeing, it comes in at $90 million. This cost advantage has not only solidified SpaceX's position in the market, but has also contributed to a more extensive contract with NASA, jumping from the initial 6 missions to a total of 14 with a contract value nearing $5 billion. This has increased the company's market share and brought in substantial revenue. SpaceX's dominance is evidenced by the fact that thanks to its endeavors, the United States now boasts a 70% share of the global commercial launch market. This significant market presence has resulted in NASA becoming a significant contributor to SpaceX's revenue, injecting millions annually into the company. On the other hand, Boeing's participation in the Commercial Crew Program, epitomized by the Starliner project, has been a costly venture, both in terms of time and finances. Since being awarded the $4.2 billion contract in 2014, the aerospace giant has encountered a series of setbacks and challenges, resulting in significant financial losses. With each delay, the costs associated with rectifying technical issues, conducting additional tests, and implementing redesigns have continued to mount, adding to the strain on Boeing's financial resources. Despite these financial setbacks, the more pressing concern for Boeing lies in the uncertainty surrounding the future of the Starliner project. The prolonged development timeline, coupled with the formidable competition posed by SpaceX, raises questions about the project's viability and long-term prospects. Boeing's responsible for fulfilling contractual obligations with NASA, including 6 crewed missions to the ISS. However, their future appears challenging. Furthermore, the broader question of whether Starliner can maintain competitiveness in the rapidly evolving commercial space market remains unanswered. Beyond SpaceX, potential alternatives in the market further complicate Boeing's strategic considerations. Companies like Sierra Space and Blue Origin, though not initially securing NASA contracts, are positioning themselves as viable contenders in the rapidly expanding field of commercial spaceflight. Boeing must carefully navigate these market dynamics and assess whether the Starliner project remains a prudent investment amid evolving technologies and emerging competition. That's all for today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Please let us know what you think in the comments section below. Your feedback's very important to us and helps us make better videos for you. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.